and I remembered to unhook the graphics. So,
All right.
hey, well, welcome to another edition of Modern Day Thrive. I am your host, Dean Baker, and as always, my co-host George Weber. How you doing, George?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Pretty good. George and I are in our respective homes, places side of town. So we're sitting across from each other, but this may be the last week we officially do it this way. I will be getting keys to the new kingdom,
Nice.
believe tomorrow. So we're gonna set up our podcasting studio on location, and hopefully we'll get Aisha to come out and participate with us in person.
I
So
hope so.
nobody's phone is falling out, and we're all kind of in one big happy family. And that's coming up. This is official. I actually did the count, so we are calling it episode 76 of Modern Day Thrive. 76 episodes, man. We've been at it for a while.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, um, how's your week been going?
Pretty good, actually.
Yeah.
I've been pretty busy at work, but outside of that, just investing and making money.
Yeah.
Yes, I've been doing really good.
Now the big news this week: your miner showed up.
Yes, it did. I ran
So,
into a few roadblocks that I didn't anticipate, but I think I've gotten past those. I still need to do
like the power cords,
like power. Yeah.
they sent you the CPU or the case with no
Yeah.
power,
Or nothing. And I was like, okay.
and that has
Uh,
dual power supply, which is
yes.
kind of a big deal for a
Yes.
server type system. So
hmm
does it look like a typical server, like it was rack mounted?
Um, I mean, it's literally just a square box with four big fans on it, two on each side.
Wow.
So it's
And of course you had to hook a monitor to it,
nope,
and
it's all done remote.
really, so
Yeah. So basically, you hook it up,
you
and
had to
I
hook
look at
up
my router.
your internet to it, obviously,
Yep,
because it's
you
not going
hook
to be
that up,
Wi-Fi.
and you
So
look
you
on your
gotta
router. You find the IP address, and then you basically
you just log in and
HTTP
remote
log into it.
desktop.
Yep, and you configure it.
No
And it took
kidding.
a few minutes. Popped up in my console, and I'm really interested to see what this thing will do in 24 hours because
Yeah,
it hasn't even been on for a couple hours yet.
yeah, and
And
she's already ticking up some Bitcoin for you, huh?
oh yeah, so I would have gotten two payments today already, 12 o'clock and 4 o'clock,
Yeah,
and just as a reference, that was 2409, and that's just
yeah,
the BTC number.
right.
So it's so that's
Whatever the
two physical
equation.
payments. This one hasn't even been up for a couple hours, and it's already at 1857.
Wow. So,
So it'll surpass that 2409, and it
eh,
wasn't even the full 4 hours. So I'm curious to see what the next 4 hours are going to be like.
so basically, for those who don't know that are watching, and of course, please at the bottom of the screen, like, follow, and share this webcast. Please, this is how we want to live, but based on people watching and following and listening, and please join in if you can. And thank you for the like. Oh, my brother's online. Thank you, Donnie,
Woo-hoo.
for the like. And um, so for those don't know, you actually bought this about, wasn't it like 6 months ago?
Yeah, probably about that. Maybe a little bit before that, but I think it's in that range.
Yeah, spent a decent chunk of money, and
Yes,
basically you bought it through like a server farm or a
correct. That's what it
mining
initially
farm or
said. Yeah.
whatever. And you gave them the money, they set it up, they
hmm
do everything that you're doing now.
Yeah.
And then the last 6 weeks or more, it's been kind of offline.
At least 2 months because
2 months.
they kind of got hit with. They're in California, and I guess wherever they were facilitating, basically, probably I guess got cold feet because of all the government mandates and stuff coming down the line. They were like going, "Yeah, you guys got to move."
Really?
Basically, yeah.
So your
So
server for about 6 weeks has been 8 weeks has been sitting
it's been sitting
in a
in a
box.
box somewhere. Yeah.
So when you reached out, let them know they had to locate it. I'm
Yeah.
guessing it's
Hmm.
probably in a stack of other server boxes
Yeah.
and
They did all that
yeah,
well.
yeah.
They
Well, that's
you
good
know.
that they sent it to you, and it wasn't
Hmm.
just like a box of bricks, like
Yeah. Yeah.
with a you know with a good luck note, Um, but so you got it, you hooked it up, and after a couple little issues, that
Yeah.
power cord is kind of weird. They couldn't.
Yeah. Well, it's 220. So.
Oh, what? Each of those were
Hmm.
220.
Hmm.
So how did you hook that up?
I had to have it installed.
Oh, so you had to have a 220 jack
Yeah.
put in
Hmm.
your
Yeah.
wow, your mining room.
Hmm.
220, yeah. Uh yeah, that looked weird because it was three
It was sideways.
prong, but the two opposing prongs were flat and
Yeah.
not
Hmm.
vertical. I mean, it's just I'm looking at it going, but that didn't seem like 220 to me. But wow, that's running off of yeah.
Yeah. So. But yeah, I mean, like I say, it was something I wasn't expecting and
So you had an
didn't.
electrician come out and wire
Yep.
it for you? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Do I want to ask how
No.
much that? No. Okay. All right. Well, otherwise it would have been like
Talk about that later.
Julie's trying to turn the stove on. And it's like there's a big long extension cord going from the kitchen, and
Yeah.
I was like, why isn't our stove working or
I'm
the
borrowing
dryer working? And of course there's a long cable running through the house,
it.
and I'm like, oh yeah.
There
So
actually is right now because I kind of did it on the fly. The internet cable is running through right now, but I gotta run it to the ceiling. I just haven't gotten there yet.
yeah.
I wanted to just test it out and let that thing run. I want to see what it's going to do.
Yeah. Well, good. I'm glad. Hopefully it starts producing for you again.
Uh,
Likely you're going to make more money with it
I
because
should.
you've got blistering internet speed.
Well, I
That
don't have to
plus
pay all the maintenance fees and all the
and you won't get in
yeah
fee to death. So
yeah.
hopefully you'll
So
get out from the initial investment pretty fast and you'll start making
I'm
some real
about
money.
halfway there. I
You are?
mean,
Yeah.
yeah, with all that was brought into the account from it was around $3,000. So.
So now how many devices total you have in your little mining room?
So
Oh, that's the security
yeah, my
guard.
security alarm going off for someone walking in front of the house. um, jogging. I'm sorry. I
Damn
have
joggers.
one desktop, two laptops, and then the big one, which is a Bitmain server.
Yeah.
And off and on, my son's computer does as well.
Oh, nice.
So,
Nice. All right. All
I'm,
right.
I'm
All right. All right.
I'm liking the numbers I'm seeing so far. I mean, they always do fluctuate, but it's whereas it's been in the let's say 8,000 to 10,000 range. I'm now in like in the 20,000 and above range.
Right. And this is all made possible. You're able to do that and be profitable because you just got installed solar in your house.
Yes.
And you did that about what, 4 months ago?
Yeah, it would have been right around the end of the
Yeah.
year.
And that was I know that was a headache. I'm not going to make
Oh
you
God.
relive that, but so I know I've asked you this before and you were like, oh, I don't remember, but you
Yeah, I
have
know.
about how many solar panels do you have?
At least 25.
Yeah, at least 25. You're going to do an accurate count. I should make you
I'm gonna
take your
go through and do
phone, go wireless with your phone, walk outside, and we'll do a count.
it.
25. All right, let's just say 25 panels. So now 25 panels running. I think each panel likely would be about 100 watts a panel. So you got 2,500 watts. You're generating, and I think that's an hourly
Hmm.
equation, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
2,500
And it
watts
varies
per
throughout the
hour
day
or something
depending
like
on where
that.
the sun is. Yeah,
Dude, you need a battery system. You
I
need to
know
be
I do.
charging up a battery system so you could kind of you could kind of,
I looked into that. I was actually doing some YouTube diving the other day because I'm just curious,
right?
and I've seen a couple of these before, and um, I mean, it's no small feat, that's for sure. Because you definitely need components
Well, I mean,
to go
before
along with
lithium
it.
batteries, people were doing it with deep cycle marine batteries. And
Yeah,
a
yeah.
deep cycle marine batteries they're bulky as all hell. You know, they're
Mm-hmm.
big. They're big carb. They're largest car battery ever made.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, you get a bunch of those, you string them together, and you put it into a charging system, and then you got
Yeah,
to
yeah.
run something off of a, you know, like a UPS, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
your computer power supply, but you have to have that tied in so that it, you know, it maintains and keeps running overnight. You should
Yeah.
absolutely have something, even if you go buy 4 marine batteries
Yeah.
and just keep a charger topping them off. And if you ever lose power, then you can at least generate enough, you
And that
know,
keeps high.
generate enough overnight, because that's what
Mm-hmm.
it's really meant for when you
Mm-hmm.
don't have the luxury of having solar. And here we're Florida, and we already have a our first, I think, tropical storm of the season bearing down on us.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So, huh?
I heard about that. I
Yeah,
over.
yeah. Actually caught it on the news. I turned the news on this morning. I was like, oh yeah, there's one of those coming. Great. All right. So, but you know, time to hunker down. But you know, having some type of battery system that you could maintain, live off of, because you know all your stuff. I mean, you know, your house will run during the day,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or at least to some capacity if it's a cloudy day. Yeah, you're gonna have to figure that out, how much juice you're
Yeah, that's what I was
pulling
gonna
out.
say because I know there was like right after I got it installed, there was almost several weeks in a row where it was literally cloudy.
Yeah,
It was still producing, but
yeah,
it
just
was
not.
hard for
It's
me to
not.
tell. Yeah, because
It's not
I had
100%, obviously,
no,
you know,
yeah,
because
no,
it's not, you know, it's not getting 100% direct sunlight, you
and
know.
I have a lot of juice going on. I really do. I always have my electric bill always high, and
Yeah, but
you know,
it's dropped now. You've seen the
oh yeah,
drop.
oh
Yeah.
yes,
And
absolutely.
it's definitely something that was obviously I'm thinking it was worth the juice was definitely worth the squeeze.
I would say yes.
Yeah. That, you know, there's a lot. I mean, you know, I filled up my gas tank this week. Shit, 90 bucks, you know, and I barely drive anymore. And I'm still like, you know, I'm still like, what the hell, you know? So
Yeah.
I think it's time to go electric. I think it's time to go electric. At some point, I'm gonna need to like increase my range of motion without
Hmm.
expelling all those fossil fuels.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is, and it seems like everybody's going electric these days. You know, if you didn't put a wicked expensive solar grid on your house,
Hmm.
you know, one of our guys, Rob, he just bought a Hyundai, the Ion Q5, or I can't, you know, what the
Yeah,
hell
and
is
I haven't kept up on the models, but
it? All right, well,
I have to get him on one day and then find out what he's.
I'm refreshing my browser because it all went to sleep, and then I'll, you know, I'll drop it in here. I've got a screen share here. We're gonna drop in a second.
Let's see. We got
Wow.
gas stations
Oh,
running
there we
out in the
go.
big city of Greenfield. Wow.
What's that now?
Yeah, your brother was saying that gas stations are running out in the big city of Greenfield.
It's not that big a city, but
Oh
yeah,
well.
yeah. So this is what Rob just got, the Hyundai Ionic 5.
Kind of a little sporty.
It's nice. He drove it up to the house, and I took a look at it, and he wouldn't let me test drive it. I'm like, what the hell? But but I mean, the range about 300 miles. You know,
Hmm.
if he's out and about, I think it costs anywhere from, you know, if you're at a gas station to get power, you're at,
Hmm.
you know, 10 to $15 to fill it up from near
What's the
empty. So
charge time on those though? I mean, is it like I mean, obviously we don't know a lot about
I
them at
think
this point.
they're trying to keep it as you get a percentage. You could get like 80% recharged in like 30 minutes or something like that.
Gotcha.
So it was something like that. And
Well, they probably have fast chargers too.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, if you can recharge, I mean, it's like, hey, you go to a gas station, you're going to spend 10 minutes at a gas station anyways.
Hmm.
So if that's the downside to having an electric vehicle, then why not? You might as well.
Don't they have
But
charging stations downtown, like in the parking areas too?
hotels, I'm seeing hotels have charging stations.
Hmm.
So when you go into the parking garage, there's like really good parking,
Yeah,
right next to one of their EV charging stations.
yeah, yeah.
I've seen them downtown. Yeah, they have spaces downtown. You can't use them as a parking space, but you can use them to recharge your car. So
Yeah, you probably
you
can't
park
leave them
there
like,
for
yeah.
the half hour or something like that. And I think they, I think it was Shane just got a Tesla,
Nice.
and I think he was saying that if you park longer than so many minutes,
They'll
they
tell you.
charge you like $1 a minute or something like that. So beyond charging, if you're just sitting there parked full,
Yeah.
then they will charge you like $1 a minute to take up
Wow.
that space.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah,
Premium.
so Rob just got this. I think the car is about 50 grand. And it's a nice looking car. Forget the guy on the side, but it's a nice looking car. It's really wide and low to the ground, so it's more car than SUV or crossover.
Hmm.
But that's what they're calling them now. They're calling them crossovers, and it's just kind of squatty and I like it's wide and it looks like it's
Still
got some
looks sporty.
power to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually pretty.
I
So
like those wheels.
so that's Hyundai's version. And of course, I mentioned I talked to Shane, and Shane did something different. Hang on, let me silence the other guy here. Boom, silence, silencio. So Shane is a Uber driver when he's not acting and filmmaking and stuff like that. So he drives an Uber, and he's actually rented a Nissan from Tesla, and you pay them x amount of dollars,
Mm.
and now he's renting a Tesla. It's like 334 a week, which means he gets a new car, like a $90,000 car, and he doesn't have all the gas prices, because when you drive Uber you got to pay for your own gas.
Hmm.
The gas is, Uber doesn't pay for your gas, you pay for your
No,
gas.
yeah, that's
They
part of
just
the
pay you
deal.
just enough to make a few bucks on top of what gas money you spent. So imagine taking, Shane was saying he was spending like $600 a week on gas
Oof.
driving Uber. And if he can spend 334 a week on the car,
Hmm.
and the occasional refill might cost him 10-15 bucks to refill, but that's a hell of a lot different than having to foot the cost of gasoline,
Hmm.
into the factor into you making money with Uber. So this is great. They need to Uber needs to really kind of step into this whole EV thing and just go, not just Tesla, do everything, the Hyundai. And I mean, I started doing the research. Everybody's got one. Everybody's got Ford's got their pickup truck. Um, and where's this other one? Talking to a guy, he couldn't make it on the show tonight, but this guy works at an EV dealer, and it's Rivian, Rivian, and they just came out with two trucks, 4-wheel drive.
Very nice looking.
I mean, they are pretty, and that's just the still picture. But
Hmm.
I think that's a really cool video. Yeah, I'll just play this while we're kind of talking about it. But I mean, the let's kind of no, wrong one. Hang on. This is a lot of talky stuff, and that's not what I wanted to. I think it's the main page. There was a video. I'm like,
I
what
saw it
the?
earlier as well.
Hang on, let me just reload and see if it
Disappeared.
plays. There was a video here. Let me
I know you were
just.
showing me one earlier. They were going to the mountain or
Yeah,
something.
there was a really cool video, and for some reason, it just kind of where it said, the professional drivers on a test track, but man, they were really
Mm-hmm.
rocking it. Well, yeah, I'll just leave this up, but it's got some. This truck looks freaking amazing. It looks amazing. Yeah, a friend of mine who might be doing some webcasting with, he tells me he works for this company, and yeah, he says, "Oh, next time we're around, I'll bring it by. We'll, take it for a ride." And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
"Oh, that sounds great." And for a vehicle, it looks like it starts around 70,000, somewhere about 70 grand, which is a little cheaper than some and a little more than others, right? But a truck with
Yeah, yeah.
a pickup truck with 300-mile range, and they showed actually that it can actually tow. That truck was towing like a 30-foot Winnebago kind of,
Oh
or
wow.
the what's the Streamline one, the Airstream. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
they got a shot of it pulling an Airstream. I'm like, oh damn, that's cool because I own a truck. It's a Land Rover. It's an older one, and I get 12 miles to the gallon gas. I mean, it can do anything I
Mm-hmm.
want to do, but it's painfully expensive with a 24-gallon gas tank. It's painfully expensive how much I spend, with gas prices hitting $5 a gallon, which it's heading that way. Um, why the hell are we still relying on? And this is it. This is it takes literally a gun to the head of every manufacturer and say, look, you know, well, I think Russia's really the cause of this little fuel shortage because he's sitting on all that fuel. But but that's what it takes. It takes a gun to the head saying you're going to go EV,
Yeah,
right? I mean, that's what it takes. You're going. You went EV on your house.
pretty much.
You that was a hell of an investment, but you saw what it took, what it was going to take to do it, and will it be worth it? And I'm really leaning into this, but man, I just don't want to spend 50 grand on a vehicle.
I know.
You know, give me a kit. I got an extra vehicle out there. Let's turn my Land Rover into an electric one.
Hey, that's what we should look into. We should look into
Just
doing
I'll
it's just sitting right now. We can do it over time.
5,000. If I can get a kit for $5,000, why the hell not?
You take
But
that engine out of that thing, and the weight on that thing will probably drop in half.
this is not the video. It's barely showing anything. I'm
Mm-mm.
like, uh, let's see. Man, I gotta. Is that it? Or is the same thing?
What's the same?
Oh yeah, it's these Tuckies. Well, I'll just jump ahead from the. But I mean, an EV truck that can climb rocks like that, just crazy to me. That is, I absolutely would love. Ah, man, you want to see the truck, not some person who just likes it.
Yeah.
Oh, I like it. It's so speedy and whatnot. But yeah. Anyway, I'll let's get out of this, and of course everybody's got EV stuff now. Volvo's
Mm-hmm.
got some interesting couple of vehicles out. Ford's got their Lightning, the F-150 Lightning, which I believe is anywhere from $40,000 to $90,000 for the F-150. But and then of course there's this Rivian that I want to take a look at. Have to
I've
do our
never
own
seen a
little.
dealer around. They have local dealers, I guess.
I'm sure they have one in Florida. That's where this guy works. But
Hmm.
we're gonna have to do our little consumer reports on
Yeah, there
EV.
you go.
We're gonna have to run it through the. Um,
Get a
Yeah,
mill.
I'm, yeah, something, or just, something that you ride a motorcycle as one of your daily drivers. So,
Hmm.
you know, you benefit from getting about what, 75, 80 miles on the gallon.
I mean, yeah, it gets me generally a full 7 days.
Yeah.
So, and I go about 30 miles a day.
Yeah.
So,
So,
give or
geez.
take, some when I come out your way, that's a little extra,
Right.
but it's so it's like what?
Well, you mind less paying nearly $5 a gallon when you're only buying like 3 gallons.
Yeah, it used to be under $10. Now, the last time I filled up, it was 15.
Oh, you poor thing.
Yeah, I'm just like,
15
man,
whole
really?
dollars
Yeah,
for a
I'm
tank
like,
of gas?
really?
15 whole dollars? $90 was my last tank
Ouch.
of gas. $90. And do that every week.
Yeah.
I cringe when I have to drive when do I go somewhere? Well, I'm doing the math in my head like, geez, I'm getting what, 18 miles to the gallon with my Nissan. So it's going to cost me $20 round trip for that.
Yeah.
Oh, I got to go pick up Dave later tonight at the airport, and
You coming into Orlando or
that's
Sanford?
Orlando, but
Yeah.
still it's 30-minute drive to the
Mm-hmm.
airport, so it's going to be 15. So if I do the math, 15, 20 miles, boom, each way, it's a gallon there, a gallon back. It's
Mm.
costing me $10 just to go pick them up, plus tolls. So I'm like,
100 each way to the White Mountains quad riding.
oh right, $100 each way.
Ooh.
But you're driving the car, aren't you, Donnie? You're driving the car to get up to the White Mountains because I think he rents a space where he leaves the ATVs there.
Not a
So,
bad
but
idea.
yeah, White
No,
Mountains,
trailer.
man, up in New Hampshire, that's some beautiful area up there.
Nice.
Um, but gas stations running out in the big city of Greenfield. Yeah. Um, I can't imagine. Everybody's got their big trucks. They're sucking down gas. Nobody wants to. I'm like, well, towing quads first time. Hmm. Yeah. So, I don't know. This is the time, get out from under I really think that, the next evolution has to be, let's get all these cars converted. So we're not just
Throwing them
dismantling
away.
and
Yeah.
throwing them into the junkyard. Cause,
Yeah.
they will recycle the metal and the
Sure.
steel.
Sure.
That stuff will do it because steel has an inherent value because
Mm-hmm.
the more they recycle it, the less they need to, you know,
Mill
make
it.
it out of
Mm-hmm.
ore and pull it out of the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you can melt it down and it's still steel. That's that easy, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, it's kind of like, what are we doing? We need, if you want to stay the hell away from the pump, force the fuel companies to put more electric pumps at the gas stations, and why not?
Well, I figure, I don't know if it's a 10-year or a 5-year timeline. You'll see probably more electric than you'll see gas in some of these places.
Well, 5 years ago, I think it was pretty much there was maybe two or three hybrid cars
Mm-hmm.
out.
Yeah.
The Prius was one of the early ones, the early adopters of hybrid technology. And I knew people they had that, and it's like, man, I fill up once a month, you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and sure, why not? That's a nice step, but there's billions of cars. Well, maybe not billions, but there are lots of working vehicles out in the world, and if it means start pulling the engines out of a vehicle and
Mm-hmm.
replacing it with electric motor and some batteries, why not?
Well, when they come up with the kits, they'll come up with kits for specific cars, so the engine mounts and all that stuff will just work.
Why not?
It'll be easy at that point. I would
Yeah.
imagine people are already starting to work on that. This.
Well, YouTube's full of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
YouTube is just full of people actually doing all this, and you know, uh, let's see what Amazon's got for us.
Yeah, I
that got
saw
any
a someone had built a roadster actually that was EV,
EV?
and I mean this thing was quick because there's no transfer issues of power. It's
Right,
just all on power up until your
right.
battery dies.
Here, let me share. Go ahead and share this in here. Oops, nope, nope. I need right. I just need this. So looks like you can get all your stuff, a lot of your things
Like
that
your
you might
charging stuff,
need.
yeah.
There's the adapters and the chargers and stuff like that on Amazon. So you need your quick start, quick chargers. But as far as oh, look at
Oh,
that.
hey, that's an engine.
There's a brushless DC
Go
motor.
go back up a little.
What?
Go back up. They're right there. Another motor.
Well, yeah, I don't. That's a hobby. That's a little toy.
Oh, okay.
That's a basically the kit you would get is something more similar to this guy right here, where you're
Hmm.
buying a DC motor, and then of course you gotta modify it to your existing transmission, and you know, but I don't know, but I'm not seeing it. I just did a quick search on Amazon for EV electric car kit. I noticed a lot of people are using the old the Volkswagen Bugs.
Hmm.
They're taking those and they're doing them because it's a rear engine.
Yeah, it's the frame that they
So
like.
their engine and
Yeah.
transmission is all right there, so it's an easy kind of pull. Take the engine out and swap it out. It's from what I hear, it's one of the more I guess easier kits you can modify is take an old Bug
Yeah,
and modify it. But
compatibility and all that. It's
I
got
don't know why not.
it.
You know,
Your
take any
brother,
old vehicle and
your
turn it into a.
brother's telling you to buy a Can-Am Spider.
We were looking at Can-Ams.
I
Yeah, we
I
were
mean
looking at
it's
Can-Ams, sir. You can get into a Can-Am for about 10 grand.
I think it was 10ish, yeah, the
Yeah,
like the low end
that,
model, and then it kind of goes a
that's
little
their
up from there.
starter.
Hmm.
You know,
But when I
and
went there, they didn't have any in stock.
well, I'm sure that's changing.
I would, yeah. I know they were. He said they have the shipment coming in, but it was like for the next year, and I think half of them were already sold.
I don't know what a Can-Man gets for mileage. I'm sure you'd like it because you don't burn up as many motorcycle tires when you
Yeah,
have
that
a
was what the guy
fixed.
was telling me. He says, it's more of a drive like a car because
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
not
Well,
only on
because
one side or the other all the time.
it's
Because I
basically
burn
you put the
tires up.
motorcycle wheel in the back, and
Hmm.
the car is like you're stitching the back end of a motorcycle on the front end of a car,
Yeah.
and yeah, and make it look like a snowmobile, really. Um,
Pretty
But yeah, Can-Am's it's on my list of things that'd be kind of cool to drive. But
They look neat.
yeah, yeah, and you can take a class here in town in Orlando, because you're gonna take a driving class to, you know. But anyway, yeah, I'm just kind of, if I could find a kit, I'm sure somebody sells a kit somewhere in the world, how to get to, modify your existing vehicle, you know, into an EV.
I would imagine if it's a drivetrain vehicle, it's just something that has to be able to convert that into that,
Right.
drive shaft. Everything else would work the same. Just
Yep.
gotta be beefy enough to drive it for a consistent time frame.
I was going to do a bicycle, do an EV, conversion kind of
Hmm.
thing, but it's a couple $100 plus battery and whatnot. But
Yeah.
um, still, it's a bicycle. In
Hmm.
Florida when it rains every day, it's kind of.
I
But
thought about that as a backup to what I currently have. Just get one that, in the extreme instance where I may be down and I need something and the car's not available.
I knew a guy who had some junk motorcycles in his yard, and he was a kind of a junk guy. He wouldn't throw anything away. And
Mm-hmm.
he also had a Fiero, an old Pontiac Fiero from the
Yeah,
80s.
my brother had
And
one.
he was going to take the Fiero front end and the motorcycle back end, I think, and he was going to turn it into a trike.
Interesting.
Um, so, he had the right idea. Just, it was just, I don't know if he ever even, bothered with it,
That
but,
would have been an interesting,
yeah, but, Fiero's
interesting
kind of,
Mary.
oh, I think it'd be great, just have fun with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think it'd be better than you going out buying a tea bucket.
I'm still doing that eventually.
Yeah, but make it electric. Shit, why go to
Well,
the
yeah,
trouble of trying to screw around with a big old
I could buy it
Chevy
as
Ford?
is, and then work on a plan for trying to see how it would be to convert it.
Right. So
But
there's
get
this
it
is
get it all
probably for
together.
this motor here is probably for to turn a car as a $800 electric motor, but you know, oof, geez, I'm sure there's a lot to it that we're just kind of
Yeah, there's got to be
not seeing yet.
like storage, like anything else, like the old alternators. There's got to be something that more so than just that.
Right. Well, that's got to be on our list. Let's make an EV. If I gotta use one of my vehicles as a donor car, I'll just drive it till it's dead, and then we yank out the motor and do something. You know, get it
Well, if they
modified.
don't sell it as kits, you can bet some of these shops that want to stay in business will come up with a plan to be able to do it for people if they want it.
That's there a shop would, a custom shop would
Mm-hmm.
should evolve into that. And I wind up watching a lot of videos on YouTube, and it's usually a custom shop that they take a car and
Mm-hmm.
they just figure it out.
Yeah.
And you need a machinist usually to kind of modify some connection from the transmission to the
Yep.
engine and the mounts and all that stuff. And once you've got all
Mm-hmm.
that dealt with, then the rest of it's just, where am I going to put the batteries? Where am I going to how
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to run the wiring? I got to have a power connection, blah blah blah. So
Yeah.
um I think it's a thing to do. Why if not now, then when? Yeah, I'd love a Can-Am Spider, but I have no problem with even finding a junk motorcycle with a bad motor. That would be easy.
Yeah.
That would be pretty darn easy to convert a motorcycle into an electric motorcycle. Just because you're pulling the motor out and you don't need the muffler, you don't need the motor. All you need is a electric motor and probably a belt drive system goes right
Mm-hmm.
into or a chain drive system, and then boom, instant power. And you just need to fill up the gaps with enough battery to get you from A to B to C to D.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, um, you know, possibly do it with those Ryobi batteries that I've been buying from my, hey, they're cheap. I can get those batteries cheap, and you buy enough of them and chain them
Can
together,
you
and
chain them though?
oh
Can you
yeah,
actually get
oh
the
yeah.
positive and negative on this?
Yep, you can do it. I've already done it, and you don't even have to take the battery apart.
Hmm.
I went on Amazon and I took a Ryobi battery, and somebody made a 3D receiver end of that same battery, so they made a receiver thing, and all it's got is two terminals coming off of it. So
Yeah.
I could take that 18-volt battery and chain them in such a way, or I could turn that 18 into a 72-volt battery, and
Yeah.
then you just chain enough of them together, and
Boom.
boom, you got some horsepower. So
Your brother was saying there's a Volkswagen Carmen Gia electric on eBay.
it's a Gia, yes. Yeah, the VWs are real popular in kits. There are probably people out there even mass producing, or at least producing. One shot, you buy the kit kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Might not find it on Amazon, but I'm sure there's a kit out there you can buy for any number of vehicles,
Mm-hmm.
but mostly I see a lot of VWs being done, which are great because they're simple frames. They're like unibody frames and not a whole lot going on underneath. And if you look at the Tesla and the substructure of the Tesla, it's basically like an updated version of an old Volkswagen. It's a
Mm-hmm.
really simple frame that
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot of, I don't know. I could be wrong, but it just from what it looks like, it doesn't look much different. So,
Probably did that
um,
on purpose.
yeah, I don't know. So, it's on eBay now for 4,000. Electric Carbon Gia. It was probably with a bunch of deep cell marine batteries, so it's probably a little rolling golf cart kind of thing. But those things are light, and it probably wouldn't take much to move one. So,
Yeah.
but 4,000, there you go. Carbon Gia beats having to, wait in line for gas.
Yeah. Right.
Everybody, I'm a member of Sam's Club, and of course, you can buy gas cheaper at Sam's Club, which means
Yeah. The long ass
there's
line.
a 20-minute wait in line for gas. How much to save 10 cents a gallon?
Yeah.
You got to really commit. You got to be committed. You got to be committed to go, I'm going to sit in a line because there's 50 cars piled
Mm-hmm.
on top of each other outside the Sam's Club. And these people are just to save 10 cents a gallon.
Yeah. You spent that sitting in line.
And they're probably parked there with the AC running, waiting on
Florida.
gas, thinking I'm saving 10 whole cents per gallon. Wait a minute, times 20 gallons, so I'm saving $2. That's brilliant. And of course, I'll probably burn up waiting 20 minutes in line. I'll probably burn up $2 worth of gas just sitting there. Are people that not, can you, it's like, oh yeah, but I'm saving money on something, but you're spending more to get to it.
Yeah.
You're spending your time. What's your time worth these days? Would you rather maybe go home and have dinner with your kids than to sit in line at the gas station to save 10 cents a gallon? I sound like I'm just an old fart bitching about price of gas,
They're
but
gonna
you
put
know
you in that
what?
commercial. You're turning into your
Yeah,
parents.
I gotta turn the hose on you, damn kids. Why the hell would I want to wait in line at Sam's Club for gas? I did it
Yeah.
one time. I did. I actually did it one time, but
We went there last
it,
weekend and the gas station was busy.
for the entire for the from the minute they open to the minute they close, there is like 50 cars waiting in line.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And the only benefit is I can pay with my app because I've got
Oh.
the Sam's Club app, so I can actually just go bleep
Yeah.
and and I'm not swiping. So that, versus that
Yeah.
versus a credit card to that, see how much time I saved, how much convenience I've just earned by doing this versus this. It's
They
wow.
offer you loyalty points or anything for going through them, or is it just you get better deal on gas?
What do you mean?
Like I don't know if Sam's has like a rewards program, like the more you spend.
Well, the reward is 10 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
You get 10 cents, maybe even 12 to 14 cents a gallon off your gas.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good reward, but
Yeah.
if you're not, if it's going to take you an extra half an hour sitting in line with the air conditioner running, burning up your car, but I don't really care about sitting in line when it's comfort. I'll run the AC.
Mm-hmm.
All that to save 10 cents a gallon. Really, people?
Yeah. Spending 20.
People, you're spending 20 to save 10. They call that cutting one arm off to save the other.
Yeah.
Which arm do you want to lose? It's the same either way. You want to sit in line for 20 minutes to get your gas to save 20 cents. Which arm do you want to cut off? Because it's the
Yeah.
same thing. But And I love it, and you see this big old F-350 truck, big old tires, probably gets 8 miles to the gallon, and he's sitting there at the Sam's Club saving 10 cents a gallon. Have that sucker, that's a generator. That's a big V8 generator that's just cranking out fumes. And he's just sitting there waiting just to save 10 cents a gallon.
There was a boat filling up there. You had 2 motors. I don't know. That may be more of maybe a smart economic move because God knows what it costs to fill up a boat these days.
Well, boats, depending on how big the boat is, like how big the truck is, boats will burn up some fuel too. And, but those guys, I never see a boat in line at the Sam's Club.
I did. Last time I was there, there was one there.
Yeah?
Decent sized boat. Yeah.
Somebody's really, you got to be committed. You're totally, you should be committed because you're just crazy. Yeah, but, well, we do this every 6 months. We start bitching about the price of gas, and then we go, yeah, we gotta make something. We gotta make an EV, because I don't want to spend $50,000 on one. They're nice. They're pretty.
Why don't we do some more research and let's see what we can come up with.
They're pretty.
Kind of go from there.
But if I'm gonna drop first, I don't have a car payment now.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't have a car payment. That's a plus.
Lasts forever though.
Not having a car payment, great. So that means eventually my car is going to crap out. Motor, transmission, either of those two things. And then I will, if it craps out, I will junk it, sell it to the junkyard for $600. And if they'd even give me that now.
Yeah, $600.
And get something else. Living on borrowed time with another used vehicle. But, get a motor, $1,000 for a motor. Maybe $4 or $5 for the whole kit. Obviously, I can go buy a Carmen Ghia on eBay for $4,000. Okay. Probably
600 and move on.
It won't have air conditioning, so
yeah, right.
That's called moving forward when the windows are down and hopefully it's not raining. That's Florida. You can not have air conditioning, but you got to have working windows. And then when it rains, But yeah, you ride a motorcycle,
Yeah.
You gotta. I can just see being on a motorcycle, you've got your rain gear on. So you got clothes, then you got your rain gear on top of that. In the summer, and it's pouring, so you're sweating and you're still getting soaked because there's no working rain gear on the planet that keeps you completely dry. But so if you're not getting soaked by the rain, you're getting soaked in sweat.
Well, in Florida, what happens is it'll rain, so it gets you nice and muggy. Then it'll stop, and then it's like it's evaporating inside your suit.
Yeah.
So then you're like, the heat rises at that point. So it's like,
Well.
But yeah, they don't last. They don't last long. This putting them on and off because you're wearing them on top of your clothes. They always rip. I've never had good luck over time with those at all.
You need moisture wicking everything, head to toe moisture wicking. So you don't have to wear rain gear. You'll get wet and then it just wicks away. And then, then you need wash and dry stuff,
That wax on, wax off.
Yeah, something like that. I'm about to lose my voice.
Oh.
No, it's just, talk a lot and you dry up. And then all of a sudden, if I go into a coughing fit, you're going to have to finish the show. But
so how was your last week with Novatek? Decent?
Oh,
that's right. You said your feet
came out. I thought I had an issue, and of course, it wasn't an issue. It was so when I went into Novatek, I think it was like I had $2, and I'm like $2. I should have gotten closer to like $30.
Yeah, I was confused too. I'm going.
So I'm going, what the hell? And then of course I found it, and it was like the daily rundown where it shows the legend of all the transactions.
Yeah,
and it was like, no, I got like $27. but then they took out 25 for the monthly,
Yeah, yeah.
and boom, it left me with like $2. So
Okay.
I didn't even transfer it. I just like, you know what, two
Yeah,
bucks ain't gonna,
yeah.
so I'll wait and do it tomorrow. And tomorrow I should be in a better, if you know.
Yeah, I don't know what the weekend the market's been, and hopefully they had, a better or at least as good as
Uh
last because it's
I
been kind of.
I don't even want to talk about crypto, and here we are talking about crypto. I don't even want to talk about crypto just because it's painful.
Yeah.
How I bumped into Joe last week.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, he seems to think he's waiting. He's locked and loaded, ready to drop a major buy
Yeah,
on probably Bitcoin, because he's
yeah,
got a massive chub for Bitcoin.
yeah, yeah.
And he's like, he's locked and loaded, like he's expecting something to happen. So I don't know, but you know, I'll benefit from the wave Bitcoin creates,
Oh, yeah, sure, sure.
not Bitcoin itself. The wave Bitcoin creates. I will, because I've got enough, and I'm just waiting for all my coins to go. Oh, okay, Bitcoin's go up, we can go up too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it'll just happen. We might have to get through this war that we're in
Hmm.
Eastern Europe, Russia, um, maybe that's it. Maybe I can't imagine that the US can do really that much damage to the price of coin, you know.
I hope not.
I mean, all they can really do is attack you through, make you account
Taxes.
for it and
Hmm.
attack you that way and make sure that you're paying your fair share, which,
Hmm.
you know, hey, if but
Rules of the game.
I can't see why what they, and of course it's a global thing. It's a global currency. So
Hmm.
what one can and can't do, I just can't see the US government putting that kind of effect on it. All they can really do are the people that bank here,
Hmm. Hmm.
that all they really can, attach or attack is those who do their banking in the US
Yeah, within the borders. Yeah.
within their borders. Then they can only what? Tax them.
Hmm.
That's what happens. So I just, when you said, the government's trying, I'm sure they're trying to, they're getting all twitchy thinking somebody's, and of course this is old money,
Hmm.
politicians, that's old money. So
Yeah.
they made their money the old fashioned way. They robbed, cheated, and stole. Now it's like, well, I don't understand this. This is a coin that doesn't exist in reality. It's just fake. It's air, it's bubbles.
You're
How
making money.
do, how, and other people are making money, so we need to get our cut.
Yeah.
Okay, well, all you can do is it's got to eventually hit a bank. So,
Hmm.
we just have to watch closely. But in the process, I just can't see. Of course, I'm not, you don't have to. I take a lot of things for granted, mostly about the world of coin currency. But I don't, you know, I just can't see it. But yeah, you could explain it to me and say, "Oh yeah, this is what they're doing." I'm like, okay, well,
I don't even know yet. So.
yeah. So I think it's mostly just because Russia and China are bordering countries. China's got a massive stake in crypto, and I don't know. I think with seems like all this has been happening during when this war broke out. So
Hmm.
if anybody's and then of course that forces up the price of gas, price of milk, price of bread, price of everything. It's just gone up across the board.
Brother
So
says buy silver eagles.
Silver Eagles. Okay. Okay. I will.
Yeah, I've been hearing that silver has been undervalued for a long time. So there's probably if anything, there's a time when that will rise again. But
So
I don't know.
the other ones you're into, they're that's paying you like 10, 12, 12,
Yeah,
8%.
so I got 3 running right now. Got the Austin platform.
Yep. Austin,
Um,
right.
I am over 500 in there, and that's right now paying me 10 per day, basically.
$10 a day.
I got
For $500 to
for
make
500,
$10 a day.
I make $10 a day,
That's $300 a month.
and then
If you're not
the
compounding.
I'm compounding in actually right now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the other one that's called BS Apps X or FX, I forget, but I just hit 469, so I'll be at 500 there early next week.
Nice.
And I just went over $6,000 in Novatek, so I'm pulling out 1,500, and I'm going to distribute it back into 3 other programs.
Novatek's, you're.
I went over $6,000, so I'm pulling out 1,500
a month.
No, I pulled out 16. I went over $6,000 total in the platform.
Oh, right.
With this last payment, so I'm taking 1,500 out, and 300 of it, I'm going to buy another round in Austin, separate from the one I'm doing currently.
Right.
And I'm going to tie that to Julie and get her a debit card for that. So basically, she'll get $30 of BTC availability every week that you can just go straight to an ATM and pull money out.
Great.
So I'm basically self-funding an account that's just going to keep replicating, and basically in 10 weeks it pays itself back. So that's a short turnaround in my opinion. If you can do something back in 10 weeks, that's really good. But then I'm getting both of those 2 platforms over $1,000 or right around $1,000, which you give me 20 a day per platform. So that'll basically give me 200 a week. And 80 is going to be reinvested. 120 is going to come out once I do that.
$500 down is paying back over $300 a month.
Not bad. I haven't had any glitches in payment at this point. Everything's been really consistent.
And was piss poor as crypto is going and everything else is going. These guys are still paying dividends daily.
Well, they're trading in Forex, so and I would imagine they're probably pulling in double that. Using your money to gain profit and then giving profit back. That's to me, that's a beautiful system. I mean, why would you want to screw it up? People are giving you money. You're making money. You're taking home a nice paycheck.
I haven't been on in a week, and but yeah, it's top of things on my list is at least get some money in there and just because I like the idea of what $500 can do.
Yeah, sure.
A month that goes by fast, and all of a sudden your 5 turns into 8 in a month if you're not compounding daily.
Yeah, I compound every day.
Yeah, 5 will turn into. How long have right now? You're at 5 with one.
I'm at 5, just over 500 and some in Austin. And I haven't been putting.
So that's early June. That's early June. So you're at 500, and you stake and you compound it. So you put it back in daily.
Well, so what I'm doing is because the money I haven't come back from Novatek, I want both of them at 500. So I've only been concentrating on the one that's under 500.
Right.
But I'm at 469. So 2 more, like tomorrow and then Monday, I should have over 500 in both.
That's great.
So once I do that,
once they're at 500, then just count how many days. Go 10 days and see what that looks like every 10 days.
Well, so what I'll do is I'm gonna take out 120.
Right.
Some of it's going to go towards debt. Some of it's going to go in my business account, so I can grow that account.
Right.
And so I'll basically be reinvesting 80 a week, and then I'll do 1 day on, 1 day off. So I'll do one platform one day, the next one the next day, and then so they're both growing.
That when you invited me into all these Facebook groups, they're just beating every day. I'm getting a message from one of them asking me, "So what do you think about NovaTech and how you like it?" And what blah blah blah. So
they don't even care about that.
I'm sure they're fishing. I'm sure they're fishing for me to kind of get into their program.
Yeah, they want to offer you something, and to be honest, I'm listening because there are some good platforms out there that I'm finding. I'm willing to look. I said, You
Yeah.
know, we don't have to play the fiddle game. I know what you're looking for. You're looking for a commission. I get it. You know, I said I don't care about commissions. I'll take
So
them,
they're
but
looking to get in between the tier, and all of a
yeah,
sudden
they
they're getting
want
little finder's fees.
yeah, they want the commission dollars, and
So
I'm
that's
like, you
what
know,
these people are doing
oh
that
yeah,
are hitting me up. They're trying to get me signed up to the program, and that way they can kind of, and then I become part of their down chain or their
I
yeah
mean, it doesn't come out of your money directly. I don't care if they make money on it. I really don't.
right.
I just, you know, and some of them are
You,
a
you
little
didn't put
pushy.
your you didn't put your little string
I
on your
didn't.
name. No, we didn't do that this week.
Yeah,
We'll have to do it next week. We're
I'll do it next week.
next week we will we should be stretching our legs in the new digs, and maybe we'll have a little opening party in the new studio.
Yeah,
Um,
sounds good.
and but it's 8:02. My voice is about gone.
Yeah, I need to get
About
off
to
here
have
and
a
rest.
coughing fit, and I can feel it coming on. So I haven't been drinking either. So, um, but anyways, Donnie, it was a pleasure chatting with you.
As always.
You should really get online and and be part of the stream here. That'd be fun. That'd be a hoot. So, um, yeah, what's this campus? Oh, right. So I'll have to
Have an
go back and
awesome
check
day.
because this week we've actually first time streamed out to
Twitter.
Twitter, a couple of different Twitter things, and so it's been a big deal show. Next week will be this was like the soft opening. Next week we'll do the big deal. But it's all I got, and I got no more voice.
Go rest your voice, man.
Yeah, really.
Get off here
I
myself.
will I'll catch you next week, and thanks everyone for jumping in, watching, listening, liking, and we'll catch you next time, right?
We will see you then.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.